Spring in Syria. The second spring since people began demanding the overthrow of Bashar al-Assad. They were inspired by events in Tunisia, Egypt and Libya. For most Syrians, though, the Arab Spring is late. In Sarmin, Idlib province, Saleh Mutawa, a second-hand clothes salesman, was killed by Syrian army soldiers. Saleh was shot without reason as he neared the checkpoint. Pro-democracy protests erupted in March 2011 after the arrest and torture of a group of teenagers. They had painted revolutionary slogans on their school walls in the southern city of Deraa. Security forces opened fire during a march against the arrests, killing 4. It's been a year of violence which the UN says has killed more than 9,000 people, mostly civilians. Many more have been displaced, detained and tortured.
هلا واحد من هون
The prisoners called it the bed, a metal cot in the third-floor interrogation cell in the political wing of Idlib's central prison. It had straps at each end to secure a man's limbs, and another to hold down his head. 2 lengths of cable ran from a generator, ending in a crocodile clip. Shadi, a 37-year-old Syrian phone company employee, was strapped to the bed on 3 occasions, each lasting 3 to 4 hours. He screams at night at the memory of what he experienced there. Usually I was face down and the clips were put on my toes. Once they rolled me over and attached the clips to my genitals. Then the questions would start. When they got an answer they didn't like, they would shock me. The pain was indescribable. Sometimes the shock would continue for half a minute. My eyes felt like they would fall out, and my spasms were so strong that once the whole bed turned over, even though I was strapped down. Again and again they would electrocute me. Usually they were laughing. In asymmetric warfare, the weak fighting against the strong, it is not about pitched battles. For the weaker side, to keep going matters above all. We undertook clandestine travel in northern Syria, travelling with and through the network. And the network is everywhere. It has cells in Turkish refugee camps, smugglers on the border, guides in the mountains, safe houses in every village and town. Children act as message couriers and lookouts. Scouts use motorbikes and horses. And of course there are the rebel fighters among the hills, farms and olive orchards. The network is the arterial core of the Syrian revolution and the main target for Assad in his efforts to crush dissent. Even amongst themselves, code names are common currency. The armed wing, the Free Syrian Army, is structured along the lines of a grassroots insurgency. But the network's simplicity is also its strength. It compares to how parts of France must have been during World War II, with the resistance operating freely through areas antipathetic to the regime, yet also threatened by pockets of pro-regime loyalists. Except the resistance had allies they could rely on, and received help from the enemies of their enemy. These people are alone.